Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Now, as I understand it, I won't say I'm a tech geek. I'm quite fallible, believe it or not. But I managed to figure out the microphone, because the microphone has been quite low for the longest time. But just kind of tweaked it, and I heard you can hear me loud and clear now. Loud and clear. Sign him up. Sign him up. But anyway, it's a Sunday morning Ketchup show. Yes, my brother Raz is back in the house to talk about Arsenal and some incredible news which came out this week. And is it incredible news for me? I wasn't really surprised. Didn't really surprise. But as usual, we'll get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Incredible. Yes, indeed. Yes. So welcome back to Cannon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. So I took the day off yesterday, didn't do any live stuff, but there was a whole plethora of pre-recorded, uploaded stuff, which kept you guys. From what I've seen, the stats, the analytics, you guys are crazy for transfer news, man. Absolutely crazy, Ralph. But anyway, the most important thing that you guys can do now is subscribe. Subscribe. Do it. Do it. Good morning to you, older brother.
Oh, you just remember my name, did you? Good morning, AJ. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's Sunday. I mean, the weather's been absolutely horrible. Yeah, but no, listen, fired up, man. Fired up for this one. What? Shall we get into it, Ralph? Let's just get into it, shall we?
Let's get into it because there's a lot.
Are you going to do a VOR this week? You're not doing one this week, are you? No.
No, I'm off. I'm off this week. It's a weird one because they had there's a match today, isn't there? Isn't there?
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that.
So I don't know. I think that there seem to be like pre-season matches. I don't know what they are, to be honest. Which is my fate and it's doing my homework. Well, but I think I might just leave it this week because there's another match against them down the road as well, isn't there?
There is, but it's for a good cause, apparently.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The charity mind, isn't it? So
yeah.
I wasn't in two minds whether to go to the Emirates or not. I was just, I'm not going. I won't be going. I spoke to Arsenal Alex this week about it and other bits and pieces, and he said, "Oh, you're going to be going?" I said, "Well, no, I won't be going, but it's for a good cause." So those of you watching like live now, it's 16 and rising. Let us know if you're going to be going to see Arsenal versus Chelsea. And like my brother says, I think them down the road are also involved in this tournament. It's called what's it called again? I can't remember what it's called. So quick look. Look later. Yeah, but it's for a good cause. But I won't be going. I've got other important things I need to be thinking about.
Commitment.
What?
The other commitments.
There you go. That's the word, Ralph. Yeah, commitments. All right, so let's get into this one here. The first segment. Let's see if I can find this gentleman. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll put up your manager's face, Ralph, for this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Gunners guy, Gunners, a former target. I say a former target. I mean, the transfer season is not over yet. But Ilas Basuma, yeah, the report from Sky Sports is the move is back on. Arsenal have been encouraged to sign Brighton midfielder Ilas Basuma this summer. The former Gunners striker Kevin Campbell is of the view that the 24-year-old ticks all the boxes for the club and will be a smart piece of transfer business. Now, Ilas Basuma, he says, for me, he is the ideal partner in the three for Thomas Partey. He's combative, He's a lot better on the ball than people give him credit for. The kid can play. He's young. He knows the Premier League. He's tough. He tracks back. He puts the tackles in. He's a box to box. If you need him he can hold. That's my guy there. And I think I did a special segment on the two midfielders. But I chose them. It was a Ruben Neves who plays for Wolves. He's on the verge to leave Wolves. I'm not sure where he's going, but I like him to come to Arsenal. And it was Basuma. But at that time, the conversation had gone dead. Absolutely dead. Stone cold dead. It was Basuma and Ruben Neves. But yeah, they're back in the news again. It was Basuma. Rated at 40 odd million pounds, Ralph.
How much?
40, 43, 45 million pounds. It was Basuma. Now, before you give me your opinion, Ralph, what someone said to me was that if you've got Thomas Partey and Ivan Basuma in the midfield, there's no creativity. Do we need creativity, Ralph?
Man.
Does that not come in the shape of Smith Rowe? But Smith Rowe, you can't rely on him for the whole season.
It's one of those things. You need creativity. You need, as I mentioned in the last podcast, you need someone with some guile, some steel, because it's not a sprint in the Premiership. It's a marathon, and every game grinds you out, and you have to grind out the opposition. I don't know if Basuma would be that kind of creative midfielder. And like you said, we've got Emma Smith Rowe, but then you can't rely too much on Emma Smith Rowe because he's a youngster. He's been given this massive opportunity to hold midfield, to be the number 10. Creativity is always something that at Arsenal we seem to have lacked. I'm trying to remember the most creative midfielder that we did have, and the one that we did have, he didn't play in the crucial games that we needed him to play. And that was your man, not
Wait.
oh.
Yeah, yourself. It's not my guy. It's
yeah,
your guy.
he's your guy. So, but you see, that's just the thing with us Arsenal fans. We want creativity, we want everything, and we want it now. And the clubs that may have these players that we need, this is the reason why their transfer fees are inflated, because they know that we're desperate. They can sense it. So it doesn't matter if it's going to be Basuma or Osama or any one of those other types. Maddison, I think, to me, Maddison would be more of a possibility than Basuma.
Really?
Yeah.
But he comes with a high price tag, doesn't he, Ralph? Minimum 60 million pounds. Minimum 60 million pounds, Ralph. So.
But he is Premiership proven.
Yeah, but then so is Basuma.
How long has Basuma been playing in the Premiership, Alex?
Maybe 2, 3 seasons.
But he hasn't hit his stride yet. You need somebody who's been, hitting their stride. I always say, like, everyone. You see, that's another thing as well. Everyone says that you want the players to hit the ground running. It takes them a good season, 2 seasons to figure out your positions, your strengths, your weaknesses. Get over injuries, suspensions, the things that you prepare yourself per match, the matches that you play against the top level players. I don't know. I don't know if Basuma he's there or thereabouts, but Maddison seems to be he is a higher price target. But if Arteta is looking at, it seems to me Arteta's looking at quick fixes that may be young, that are young, but then again he seems to have a problem with young players. There we go. Ben White is young. We've got quite a few young players in this team. So him having problems with younger players, is that going to be another kind of like person's going to be sat out in on the bench and then all of a sudden transferred, loaned out to one of our rivals? So that kind of misnomer is there to be is thereabouts.
Mm.
Madison to me is it's been in the Premiership for quite a while, so I would imagine that if you want a steadier person in the team, then that's who I'll go for.
Even at that price point, Ralph, minimum 60 million.
Yeah, and all right. But we just paid 50 mil for Ben White. So there's money somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. How about us getting rid of those other players that were meant to be going?
We'll get to that in a moment. We'll get into that in a moment.
So there's money somewhere. The Kroenke is definitely. It seems to be that he's thinking, okay, well, I still want to keep Arsenal. I know this Super League, from what I heard from El Tel the other day, that your podcast from last week, it's going to come in some shape or form. It's not going to. It came the way it came in was aggressive, and we decided to stand up. But it's going to come in some shape or form in the next couple of years, I reckon. So Kroenke's not letting go of this golden egg or this golden goose. He ain't letting go of the golden goose anytime soon. So he's pacifying us with a few mil here and there and everywhere. So that's his gameplay. And if that's the case, then Arteta needs to grab the players that's going to keep him in the job, because this season, like you said it before, I didn't want to go there, but you pulled it out. This season is a watershed season for Arsenal. It really is. I mean, you can't get more watershed than the next 7 or the 7 after you're going to bring up. So we'll go there. But for me, I think more steady of the ship to allow Emma Smith Rowe to roam around and do his creative part is to have a more proven Premiership player. And to me, it might be Madison. If it's going to be 60 mil, then just go in there and get it. If Arsenal are ambitious and they want to show us that they mean what they say, then put the money down.
Yeah. Talking about money and putting the money down, well, we saw this week finally that Ben White has now been officially announced as the third signing. And yeah, even with Monty, I kind of tuned in on his live FIFA channel, and some of the guys on his channel live chat were saying that, listen, Ben White, we spent over the odds for Ben White. Surely we could have kept. Let's see, William Saliba. And what's quite telling is that you will see, not from this picture, but from the official pictures on Arsenal's website, he's white, number 4. And who was wearing the number 4? Number 4 was a William Saliba. So again, James Rowe has called this correctly. We're not going to see William Saliba play for Arsenal again. But at £50 million, we've got Ben White, and yeah, there's some comments which their manager came out with. He said that Ben White is an intelligent defender who is very comfortable with the ball at his feet, and his style fits perfectly with us. And of course, he's still young, so his age and profile fits with what we are building here. We are looking forward to Ben being central to our future long-term plan. So the transfer completes a meteoric rise for the defender who was released by Southampton as a youngster before being signed by Brighton in 2016. So that price point, £50 million, do we really need to spend that money? Well, in my view, no. You know what I thought all along about Arsenal spending humongous amount of money rather than trying to transition youngsters from the academy. But he's here. Ben White is here, Ralph.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
Did you see the video?
I saw the interview
No, there's like a promo video, like you know, used to the videos like certain scenes of Brighton, and then up. Was it? Is it? What is it? Is the M? Can't remember what motorway is leading up from
Um,
Brighton south all the way to London, and like you see that the scenic route. You see the Gunners pub, you see the Torrington Park pub, and then you see that the camera arrives at the Emirates. Go on Twitter, you'll see the promo video for Ben White.
okay.
Shall we move on now? Shall we move on?
Let me just add one thing. Let me just add one thing.
Yeah.
For those subscribers or viewers who, well, subscribers and viewers know that you guys did you did a blog with Eltel and James Rowe, and if you want to get the inner workings of a player, a coach, a manager, you need to have a look at James Rowe's blogs and the way they interviews those said players. These players are not, they're world-renowned players and coaches and managers. And James's insight into every single one of those it's amazing. And when he comes on our channel, I've learned something new every time he comes on there. The way he talks about the holistic way that a player's transition from being at a club to going to a massive club, or a player being at the team that he wants to play for, but then having the realization that he won't be able to get into the first team, he has to go and play his trade elsewhere, and all the things that we as fans that are not really privy to. You know, James opens that world, and I appreciate James being on our channel. But the most important thing is you have to understand that the way that he puts it, this is not FIFA football. This is real life football. And I think a lot of us fans tend to just take things from a rather blasé kind of angle, unless you've done your homework and you're very dedicated. James does a fantastic job, and anyone who I'll say poo-poo his observations or opinions. Everyone's got a right to an opinion, but if you do it in a rather insulting manner, we don't tolerate that. We don't tolerate it. James is very respected, and when he's here, guys, you have to listen to him. So when he did say about, you know, it's the last time we're going to see Saliba, I was kind of like thinking, oh, really? But if based on just the evidence alone, and based on the person we've got, it kind of like annoys me, because when I go into work or when I'm out and about and I see one or two of my mates, the first thing that anyone that knows me ever says is, well, what's happening with Arsenal? What's going on with Arsenal? And I can just point them to James, and James says it in such an eloquent and practical manner that you understand the inner workings of what our team is doing at this moment in time, but also what is affecting the players at this time as well. So I just wanted to say that, Alex, because to me, James is a brilliant guy. And like I said, when I listen to him, I learn so much more about the inner workings of the club, but the player that, you know, a 6-year-old going to a club. Could you imagine when you were 6, you're told you're going to play for Arsenal, and then all of a sudden your dreams fall to the side because you're going on loan or you're going to another club. You know what I mean? We don't have that kind of insight. Yeah, and another club. James has got a great insight.
Yeah. You know, I joked about being the prophets of doom last week when I had James and Terry. It was good to have them back on the channel, actually, Ralph. But
Yeah.
I'm not about to paint a glorified picture about Arsenal in its current state that we're in, because we're not in a good position. We're not in a good position. We haven't been in a good position for the longest time. So again, I'm not going to say, oh, we have a wonderful stadium and a wonderful manager, and the squad are fantastic, and we've got a really good owner that really cares. None of these are truth. It's not the truth. So you know, we deliver it in a way which is real, or that's from our perspective. But you can't fail to see that it's going to be 18 years, Ralph. It will be 18 years that Arsenal have not won the Premier League. So how can you tell me there's been progress? There's not been any progress. There's no progress. So I'm not going to paint a beautiful picture of Arsenal. It's not a beautiful picture. But the point I'm trying to get at, Ralph, is that people won't be told. People cannot handle the truth. As we were talking about that movie with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise. You can't handle the truth, and that is the truth, Ruth. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the next segment. So yeah, as we were talking about, actually, there is a game today. Yes, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Yes, Arsenal Chelsea lock horns for a good cause in a pre-season friendly, which is still like to have more than a bit of bite to it. London rivals Arsenal and Chelsea and Tottenham all taking place in a mini pre-season tournament called the Mind Series, which kicks off this weekend. The three capital clubs will each host a round-robin fixture at their home stadium, with funds raised to be split between mental health and charity Mind and the club's respective foundations. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really. I was thinking, should I go? No, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking, I ain't going. I won't be going. I won't be going. But if you're going to go, make sure you go there. Don't do anything silly. Don't do anything silly. You know, remember, we are the Arsenal, whatever that means for modern times, Ralph. But enjoy the game. Enjoy. I'm not even sure if it's going to be. Is the stadiums open for full capacity now, or is it still? I don't even know what it is.
I don't know. But I know that Mind is a really good charity. The company I work for, we are sponsored by them, as well as Bernardo's as well. And it's all about mental well-being. If you look at the Olympics, we already had about two people drop out because of mental well-being. Cricket as well. Ben Stokes, I think, has dropped out because he wants to take time out for well-being. Well-being is the most important state of not just a sports person, but people in general. And if you don't have your well-being in place and in check, then you're just running on automatic pilot, and then the body breaks down, and it takes you a lot longer to recover. So I think it's really important that we talk about well-being. When I said about James Rowe's holistic look at a player, it's not just playing for the club. It's all the emotions about moving from home to somebody else's home to look after you, so then you become a better player. You're an asset to the club, although you don't see it as being an asset until somebody actually opens that mindset to you as well. And then players talk among players, so there's always going to be comparisons. Everybody wants to, at one stage, when I was a youngster, everybody wants to be like Pele. And then the next generation, everybody wants to be like Maradona. And the next generation, everybody wants to be like Thierry Henry or Ian Wright. So we're always comparing ourselves. But in the comparison, we don't know what it actually takes a player to become a player until they share their stories. And with Arsenal, we know that we've had so many great players, but then also so many great players that had underlying issues with health, with gambling, with all the stuff that we don't want to associate ourselves with, because we don't want to see that. It's the uncomfortable conversation. We want to see our players win. And we have sometimes our unrealistic view of wanting that team to win all the time, and we don't think that our players are human. We think that you wear the shirt and you become a Superman or a Superwoman, and when the match ends, we can go home and talk to our families. Our players go home, and what's always on their mind is their performance, because that's the way they're conditioned. And sometimes, if they don't have the person that can support them when things do go south, when there are hardships, when you may have a situation going on at home, but you still got to perform on the pitch. I take Xhaka, for instance. When Xhaka had all that abuse online, naturally he's going to think, well, no, you can aim it at me, I don't care. But if you're aiming at my family, my kids, then that's not right, and that's something that we don't stand for anyway. You know, we can criticize our players, but then there, you know, there's criticism and there's anger. You know, there's a line that's crossed. So we've got to be very careful and responsible at the way that we put ourselves across. And it's all to do with, you know, the way that we look after each other. And the stories are, you know, very varied about how people have taken their lives. Young men who don't have that kind of support network, more able, unfortunately, to take their own lives than anyone else. And we have to have that kind of responsibility to say, look, talk. You know, women are very great at talking everything, but us as men, we tend to hold those things because we think that it's seen as weak, it's seen as being, you know, not manly to do those kind of things. We don't have to have those kind of skill sets. So Mind and other charities like it are great. It's good to support it. If those are going to the today, you know, go in the hope of supporting the charity. I'm not going because I'm here. I'll be looking after myself and everything else. But yeah, from a charity point of view, it's great that those teams are participating. But I think we also have to be very wary about the way that we conduct ourselves online and in person.
Yeah. So there is one more segment of life that I want to get into, but I don't usually do this. But we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into the last segment of live views, and then we'll go into the live chat. So enjoy the advert break for the next 2 minutes. Go to the toilet, get yourself a drink or a cup of cocoa, and on the other side of this advert, we'll get into the last segment of the news, and then we'll go to a live chat. Okay, so we're now back, and we're going to get into the last segment of the news. Jeremy, was I surprised about this? Was I surprised? I wasn't really surprised, but Granit Xhaka, the return of the Xhaka. Arsenal midfielder remains a key part of Mikel Arteta's plans despite Roma talks. Granit Xhaka is still a key part player. Yeah, boss Mikel Arteta plans. The Serie A side made offers to sign him over the summer, but never matched Arsenal valuation. Contract extension for midfielder has not been ruled out. While it may appear to be a U-turn by Arsenal, it is thought Arteta never wanted to let Xhaka go, having initially convinced him to stay in January of 2020. Yeah, the return of the Xhaka. And am I surprised? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. At the beginning of the transfer window, Ralph, I said that you'd be lucky if Arsenal sold maybe 2, at a push, maybe 3 players. I saw the last game against Watford. I saw Mr. Hector Bellerin playing. which led me to believe that Bellerin is not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. Granit Xhaka is not going anywhere. Was I surprised? I wasn't surprised. All this hurrah, oh my, Granit Xhaka, yeah, the deal hasn't gone through. Contract extension. And we are over here thinking, oh, what's going on? But on Edu and Arteta's side, they're probably thinking, well, actually, we never said that he was going anywhere anyway. He's an integral part of the squads, has leadership qualities. Am I surprised? I'm not surprised, Ralph. You have the mic, Ralph. Granit Xhaka.
I saw your blog yesterday, man. If anybody wanted the house where Alex lives to take off and land in orbit, Alex had the fuel because you went in on one. You did. I was trying not to laugh, but it is farcical. It is farcical. I have to say, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because
why?
Because I'm disappointed because you had two players throughout the summer who said they want to leave. One was willing to just go, whatever it is. In short layman's terms, he was pretty much saying, "I don't care. Do whatever that it takes for me to leave. Let me leave." And then all of a sudden, that's translated into, actually, I want to stay at the club. I want to say, and Edu and Arteta. I mean, is that official that they both said that he was integral to their plan?
Yeah, it is, Ralph. Yeah, it's official.
Okay, so what didn't they hear when Xhaka said how I want to leave the club, regardless? Was it that they, surely the player should say, no, I still want to leave. If he wants to leave, then surely he should say, no, I want to leave still.
But Ralph, he's under contract, isn't he? He's still under contract. He's still an Arsenal player.
He's on the contract. He's on the contract, but the contract was negotiated between us and Roma. Roma couldn't, like I said to you, the last vlog, that whatever it is, whatever the hit is, Arsenal should take it. And then all of a sudden, Arsenal are now saying, "Nah, we ain't taking anything lower than what we valued. We're gonna keep our player, a player who don't want to play for Arsenal anymore." And then on the flip side, you've got Bellerin, who's also said that he wants to leave, but no one's coming for him, really. No, there hasn't been no real serious bids. I wonder why. I wonder why. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, he's still going to be playing for us. Now, I know you're going to say that. I know you said this, Alex. You said how you don't blame Xhaka because it is Arteta and Edwin's fault. So that means, in a sense, that when Bellerin and Xhaka play the first match against Brentford, for example, which is not very far off, they are criticism free. We cannot criticize them for their performance or anything because now the focus is squarely going to be on Arteta. That's what we're saying, right?
Yeah. Ralph, have you not seen the photos? Xhaka back in training with the squad.
No, I don't check the Arsenal training photos or not photos, but all the videos that they do and everything else. I don't check for that because what they do what they do when there's no pressure compared to what they do when there is pressure is total coin flip. Total coin flip. So
I'm looking at it from Edu and Arteta's point of view. They're probably thinking, well, we never said that we wanted to let him go anyway. So all this hurrah, why are you surprised for? Because we never said we wanted to let him go. The player has said that he wants to go, but we've never said that we want him to go. He remains a integral part of the squad. So from their perspective, they're thinking, what's all this hurrah about? Because we want him to stay. Ralph, did you see the podcast I did, Ralph, when I said that I wouldn't want Canon for a TV to influence the decision making at Arsenal?
Yeah. I think we are in choppy waters when we say about influencing. And the reason why I say that is because you don't have, from my viewpoint, roughly 15,000 subscribers or viewers to the channel without some kind of influence. People come to see us because of the way that we deliver our kind of conversation, compared to all the other podcasts out there. So there is a sense of some kind of influence. You either react by giving us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or you don't bother. You know what I mean? So there's that kind of influence. I think what you're aiming your conversation towards is that we are not the flag bearer to say that we are totally right about everything about Arsenal. We have our opinions. It's one of our opinions. We're not like Cronky, where we don't have to have an AGM. Our AGM is every time we put a video out, because we're engaging with our viewers and our subscribers. We're reporting about how we feel about the direction that Arsenal is going. And
Ralph,
if you think what Arsenal's doing,
but would you want Arsenal to listen and take advice from Canon for a TV?
You know what?
No.
I think at sometimes we don't know for sure. I'm sure players must know. There's these channels, and I think at some point they must have a look in to see what the content is. But that's all it is. It's just us giving content to what we do. We're not saying to Arsenal, the board, as it were, you've got to do this. No, we do it in other ways. We demonstrated, we protested, we walked around the Emirates because of what they were trying to do. So that's a form of influence as well. But when it's, like I say, it's very choppy waters, because we want the best for Arsenal. And when something goes so far south that we didn't like the way that we were moved from hybrid to the Emirates. So we had to have some kind of influence. But then the powers that be said, well, it doesn't matter. We're moving, whether you like it or not. The kits, they release about 3 or 4 kits every season. And we say, well, hang on a minute now. We don't like the fact that the cannon's facing the wrong way. But the cannon's facing the wrong way anyway. So that they've got power over that. The only power that they don't have is whether we choose to go to the match or choose to buy merchandise. Now, with the new kit, a lot of people have bought the new kit because they say it doesn't really matter. Adidas or Adidas. My daughter always say, "No, you've got to say it properly." They already got the money, so it doesn't really matter how they design the shirt. They got their monies anyway. They paid up front, but it's up to us whether we support by buying the merchandise and whatever kind of effects that we have in that. It may be a teardrop in the sea in terms of change, but we do in a kind of indirect kind of way. We do influence, because we say, like you said earlier, we say what we say, and we say it truthfully. But then it's up to the viewer, the consumer, the subscriber to either participate, give a thumbs up, give a thumbs down, or don't watch. Now, going back to Xhaka and the teams and the players who potentially may watch this channel, they may watch the other channels. You know, if you're watching this channel, quite often you hear Alex, myself, or our guests will say the way that we want Arsenal to play, the way that they don't have enough grit at times, they don't have enough passion at times, and blah blah blah. That's our opinion. But the result said that we're eighth. That's not championship position. You know what I mean? That's not even getting to Europe position. That just is what it is. So whether from my voice or my actions, I want my team to progress better. And if they watch it and say, actually, these guys know what they're talking about, maybe in some kind of indirect kind of way, it may influence them and may change their attitude. We
Yeah,
will never know. We'll never
yeah.
know that.
For me, no, that's a Pandora's box. I wouldn't want us to be influenced by what we say on Cannon 42. I wouldn't want Arsenal to be influenced by any podcast, no matter how big or how small, or how much influence you have. I wouldn't want my club to be listening and saying, "Oh, actually, you know what? We should follow what Cannon 42 or the anchor man or the contributors are saying on Cannon." I wouldn't want that. For me, that's no. I'm quite happy being over on this side, critiquing my club. You know,
Yeah.
it pains me the things that they do, but I wouldn't want to have influence on them. Like I said about the other day, if they call me or if they call you and say, "Actually, Ralph, you know, we've seen you on Cannon 14. How would you feel about having a position on the board or on the coaching staff?" That's something different. That's
Yeah.
something completely different. But I wouldn't want Arsenal to be influenced by what we say on Cannon 14. For me, no, that's murky waters. I wouldn't want that
But Alex, don't you think though that the paradox has been open for some time though? Because when you think about it, um, when what's the name of that manager? When Bruce Rioch took over Arsenal, people didn't. Wrighty was about to walk out, so something had to be done, whether it's the players or whatever. The conversations that we have online, you can take it back maybe like 40 odd years ago. People were talking in the pubs, and sometimes the fans, when they were able to, I mean, I would tell he must have rubbed shoulders with half the Arsenal team when he was a youngster. You know, his parents or his family must have had influences with those players because they were living very close and very local. So in a weird kind of sense, that's influence as well. You know, when the player hears how great he played, that's an influence. It's whether the influence is positive or negative.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to be mindful for. I think the Pandora's box has been open. It's just it opens up at different eras. In that time, it was down the pub. These times now, it's online. But online, it's because we are look here we are we're 10 to 10 on a Sunday morning, right? Someone's going to see this, if not now, a week's time, a year's time, 2 years, and say, actually, you know, from what those guys were saying to where Arsenal is, they were talking real. So that's another set of influence as well. I think we have to. I think the Pandora box analogy has been open in different timelines of any club's progression and acceleration or deceleration. I think it's how we manage the influence.
Well, all I have to say is, you know, if Arsenal or someone next to Arsenal does watch Cannon 40 TV and you like what we say, give me a call. Call me, I'm available.
The influence. Are we under the influence?
Like I said, I'm absolutely sure if your phone was to ring, Ralph, like we use it as an example.
Yeah,
they will probably say to you, "Okay, we like what you say, but you know, if you're going to come and work for Arsenal, you can no longer be a contributor on Canal 4 TV."
well, yeah, that is the terms and conditions of any business. You know, if you're on the outside and you like what they do, or you can improve what they do, they'll get you in and say, okay, well, this is, you know, we take you in on recommendation, but you can't be influenced from any other companies or whatever, because then you're being direct a correlation against us. So that's any kind of organization. Always going to have that kind of yeah. If you're going to be with us, okay, these are our rules. But if you go beyond that rule, if you're going to go into a grey area, actually, if you're going to go into a black and white area, it's very black and white here. If you go beyond that, then you can seek employment elsewhere. Of course, that's by the by. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. No. Give me a call, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Give me a call. I'm available for the next 6 weeks.
Alex has got a team of people
Advisors, yeah.
advisors help Arsenal improve slightly.
Well, we've been going for 45 minutes and we've not gone to live chat yet, Ralph. But anyway, let's go into the live chat and see who's joined us in this one. Guys, before I go in there, I want to say a big thank you to everyone because seeing the numbers go 125, almost 130 any one time. So thank you for that, people. Luca says, big up. Thank you for that. And the public one says, good morning, guys. Good morning to you. Our moderator for the morning show is Ashley D. I think my brother's got something to share with you, Ashley, about your order.
We're not going to do it live.
Yeah.
Contact him. No.
Good morning, Gimros. No, don't put you on the spot, man. Tony P Gaming, good morning. It's been a long while. Hope you're keeping well. Good morning, Alex Raz and Ashley. Ashley says, yeah, I'm sure they're going to buy someone just because Sol says so. Well, listen, Sol Campbell, he's entitled to his opinion. I know which players he's spoken about recently. Because that's my guy. I can't remember who's it been. It's not been with Basuma, but I can't remember. But he's entitled to his opinion, actually, like we all are.
Is he influencing Arsenal?
Oh. Welcome to all 30 Gooners here. I've got my workout out because it's saying here 117. I hope you all hit the like buttons, and if you're new, then smash that subscribe button. Majid A, good morning. Longest while. I hope you're keeping well. What do you think of transfer season so far? Not that good for me, but if we get Madison and Martinez, that's Lautaro Martinez, and a decent right back and goalkeeper, well, you're not asking for much, are you? You're not asking for much. Then it'll be a 9 out of 10 transfer season for me. Ralph, what's your thoughts about transfers so far?
I said that at the start of this transfer window that I would just want to see the outs first. When you get the outs first, then we can focus. It seems like we've got ins and we've still got the outs who's going to be playing for us next season. So it's not a mixed bag. I'm not negative. I'm not negative. It's great that we've got some new players in, but it's at the expense of academy players. What's going to happen to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock? I think Mark McGuinness. Is it Mark McGuinness who's gone to Cardiff?
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm keeping my eyes out for him if he pops into our store. I'll put a few pointers. Who else? Yeah, Saliba.
Yeah.
Saliba, one of those players we're not going to see. We paid 27 million for an empty space.
Anyway.
So that's my take on transfers.
Yeah.
We've got a lot. Miguel Aziz played in the last match against Watford. So is he going to be in the first team?
Should be. Give him a squad number. He should be. I forgot about him actually. Arnie, good morning. Good morning to all. How well do you think we will play against Chelsea today?
I'm not looking for it as anything really. It's just I think that it should put the youngsters on.
Yeah. So far from 2 games I have seen, Lokonga looks promising, and he looks ready to even start games in the Premier League. The well-being thing hits home. My heart goes out to anyone who's struggling. Things always get better. Well done. Well said, actually, for that. Ron Miles says hello.
So, Ron,
And Pepper. Pepper is a friend of yours, Ralph? No?
I'm not aware of Pepper, but thank you, Pepper, for
Yeah,
the comment.
yeah, nice one. And but okay, I can't. Don't spam the live chat, please. Sorry. Red card Shaka, so a guaranteed 12 points drop next season. Any updates on Madison? No updates, unfortunately. Sorry. Shaka off the bench is fine. Shaka at AS Roma is better still.
Yeah, Shaka out of the club because he didn't want to play for us anymore. You see, this is. I don't want to get into a rant.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it, Ralph? Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what is it about Arsenal players who say they want to leave and we still beg them to play? I think when you're in that kind of mindset that you want to go somewhere, it does affect your performance. You know, you say that you got your mind set, and let's put it this way: is most players they're very young families as well. So when you're saying to your spouse that okay, you know what, I've had enough of this team, I've had enough of the fans, and blah blah blah, we're gonna move, and your partner supports you in that, and then all of a sudden you say, actually, we might as well just stay. We're gonna stay. You know, where is your mindset in that? Because not only have you upset your fans or the fan base, you've put your manager or your manager's back to you at this point. So the manager is your best friend, pretty much. The academy players who are hoping to take your place, you've pushed them back to the background now. So then their mindset is, well, what's the point staying at this great club? You're not going to have a chance to play because what they've taken back a player or two players that said they were going to leave. So you got all that white noise going on, and then you've got your opponents who can wind you up at a moment's notice.
And you know what he's like, isn't it? He's got a short fuse, isn't it?
And there you go. And there you go. We're down a player. And then what happens? All that shift goes on to the manager. And like I said before at the start of this, and agreed with you with what you said, this is the watershed moment for Arsenal. If it all works out with your by May, we say, hey, top four or win the Premiership, whatever mindset everybody's in at this moment in time, all those things would be glossed over. But if we are 10th, guess where the finger pointing will be? It'd be pointed back at Arteta, at the board again, at Edu, the whole infrastructure of Arsenal would be, and then not only that, we have our rivals from above and below pointing at us once again because we're become a banter.
Let me also get this question, Ralph. So you're Granit Xhaka, okay? You said that you want to leave. You're willing to forego the bonuses that Arsenal are willing to afford you. Would you have come back for pre-season training with the squad?
No.
Okay.
I want to. If for example, my contract negotiations are stalled, it's in my interest to keep myself at peak physical level because you could go at any time. So you could train. You don't have to train with the first team. You can still do your training regime aside from the first team. Even you can be with the under 23s if you wanted to. But I want to keep myself in peak physical performance ready. So then when it's time to leave, I don't have to try and get myself adjusted to any pace because I'm there. The pace between the Premiership compared to other leagues around Europe, of course, it's going to vary. But I think any kind of athlete tends to give themselves maybe 2 to 3 weeks barring a month to get themselves into peak physical fitness. And we're talking about well-being as well. You want your family to be settled as well, because family does mean a lot. If your family or your girlfriend is not settled, you being in peak physical fitness performance on the pitch, but going back home, as it were, and you got all this angst going on, it's not a good look. And you don't sleep well. Your mind is in turmoil or whatever it is. You got troubles on your mind, and then you try and distance yourself from what's happening back there to going back into. And let's face it, as guys, we like being among ourselves, because it's a distraction. We don't like the stuff going in the background. But at some point, you got to go back into it, because that's a battle as well. You know what I mean? So you have to be very, very mindful about how you are. So yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't want to be with the person, because to me it'd be a distraction. If my manager comes up to me and say, "No, I want you to train with the first team because you're part of my plan," then I've got no choice, because I'm still under contract.
Okay. Golden says, let's hit the like buttons, guys. Thank you for that. Actually says, the only bench I want to see Shaka on is the park bench. Forget Shaka is still being here. What about Kolasinac? How is he still at the club? I've no idea. Yeah, he played against, what was the game? Did he play against, I think did he play against
I'm not sure if he played against Watford. I know he played against
the previous.
Rangers. I think he played in Rangers. Played match.
And yeah, but anyway, yeah, he's still here. He's still here.
He's probably wearing a mask. That's why.
Just keep Shaka on furlough. We've got a government loan to pay for it. Says, a great show. Thank you for that. And the Godfather's in the house. The European Super League is not disbanded. It's still a legal entity. Kroenke needs to position Arsenal as a top club. Hence, the coffers are open and we are splashing the cash. Oh, my goodness.
If we've got money, then why do we ask the government to give us a loan?
Yeah. Well, I don't think the loan could have been used on transfers, Ralph. The loans, I think that was the one caveat that they had the loan, but that loan could not be used to buy players, Ralph. So I think that's why. That's why. Ralph, Raz, I saw you walk around Arsenal. How many stones did you lose?
Not many. I'm gonna have to be using our training. Get in touch with my nephew, man. I'm carrying more than I'm losing, to be honest. So I've got a week off this week, so I'm gonna have to start setting up myself, because I need to lose. I do need to lose quite a few stones. But thanks very much for that, Alec. Much appreciated.
Were we going to buy Martinez or just a hoax? I wouldn't say it's a hoax. I probably won't use the word hoax. Maybe it's just rumors. Rumors. I think what happened, Arsenal were inquiring about Bellerin going over there for Inter, and they made an inquiry about Martinez, Lautaro Martinez. But him coming to Arsenal won't happen, because he said that he wants to go to Spain. And the last time I did like geography, England is not in Spain and vice versa. So he's not coming to Arsenal. Cyrus says, can Arsenal go ahead and sign Madison? Well, if they went to stump up £60 million and then someone change. Pepper says Arsenal will sort it all out. Okay. So Kitchen Studio is Ace. Is that Arsenal home sweet home sticker? No, it's not actually. It's of course red and white, but yeah, it's not. Why do you want to buy it? We're going to wrap this one very, very soon. I wanted to do it inside of 1 hour, but we're just going to hit the hour point now. Good idea to keep Xhaka, but Arteta must play players. on form. Lokonga would be a good match to compete. Shaka, I think the season will finish top 4 if all our signs perform to our expectations. I'm not in favour of selling Granit Xhaka. Okay, good luck to you. As would you have a rose? What? Is that a
100%.
rose? Rose foul if you had a
Wow.
white. I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. Buzzing. We got Ben White. I'm not buzzing. Pepper says, Basuma, please. Darren says, good morning, fellas. Good morning to you. Need a good spine, good goalkeeper needed. Centre back. Well, we've got Gabriel and Ben White. Got a midfielder, also need a striker too. Do we need a striker? I'm not going to talk about that.
Next time.
Clock, Orange says Xhaka out, should have been out long time ago, like 2018. 2018? 2018?
I said 19. 19.
Oh, 19, yeah. Martinez and Ruben Neves or Pereira. I'll go for Ruben Neves. Let's see who else do we have here. Mickey Cartel says we always need 6 points every season, reaching top 4. Forever missing out on an extra 2 games, missing out on the Champions League. Well, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League, much less a Europa League. We play there and we're going to get smashed. Alan says there is a need for Maddison when there is Neves. He's cheap, good in shooting, free kicks, and strong. Well said. Mr. Bongo, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And Maddison ain't coming to us. I bet anyone my bowl of monster puffs.
Monster puffs.
Good morning, Russell. There's a lot of players in the team and must leave. We'll be saying that for the longest time. What is the latest in Arsenal transfer news today? Yeah, well, listen, you have to go back, look on the platform. We've been speaking for how long? Over a month now about transfer news. So we don't have enough time to go and review the transfer news on this one.
Well, just rewind back. You can rewind back.
Yeah. Wasn't there rumours that we had to sell players to buy players? We still haven't sold anyone. Yes, Enzo Santiago, Bernabeu. I've been saying it for the longest time. We have been saying that. My brother works in retail. At least once or twice a year, you do stock take. You take stock of what you have. You get rid of the old stock. Some of the stock you put like a price point which is lower than the original price just to get rid of it. Arsenal can't get the basics done enough. Stock take stock of what you have.
Well, I can get a few of my work buddies to show them how it's done, and we can ship out.
Stock take, Ralph. I hated doing it. But it had to be done.
Well, I had an old manager once said to me that I can't measure anything until I know the worth of something. So if I know the worth of something, then I can measure it, and then I can cut my material accordingly. Simple.
Guys, we are done and dusted on this one. I know that there's been so many comments in the live chat we couldn't get to because I think what happened, we spent a long time, 45 minutes, just going over the news of today, and that's never happened before. 45 minutes, but we got it done. Just over an hour, Ralph. Just over an hour. Any parting words, Ralph, you want to say before we finish?
No, just appreciative to our viewers and subscribers, moderators from last week. I've got your details, so watch out in the post within the next week. Latest will be a fortnight, but it should be the next week when you get your moderator gift. I did say to Alex that once that's completed, then the next thing will be to reward our viewers and subscribers with a Arsenal kit. So that would be an Arsenal top, shorts, and socks for a particular winner. And And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm not going to do Voice of Reason until I think we hit our stride, be late August. Um, but thanks very much for watching and everything else. Thanks very much for Alex. Keep up the good work. Are you going to be with the lads tomorrow?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I just thought, just try and kind of mix things up because, like I said, it felt kind of strange to have contributors back. But no, 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 no. You'll see contributors streaming back in once the season is up and running. Because right about now, it's transfer news, isn't it? And the transfer window closes the 31st of May, so you begin to see other contributors and maybe the return of the Easy Talk. Yeah, early September. But yeah, no, the guys won't be back on Monday. They won't be back on Monday, Ralph. All right, guys. So we've come to an end on this one, and everyone who's come on this one, the Sunday morning catch-up show. The numbers just like 130, 140, and rising. Wonderful stuff. I need to get myself ready to go and do some food shopping. The weather's been absolutely terrible. But what you guys can do right about now, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, that's all you've got to do. Lend us your ear and your fingers and subscribe. That's all you've got to do. Anyway,
Press the button.
Yeah, I will be back tomorrow morning giving some more live news, maybe 3 or maybe 4 segmented live news. But just to think about it, the return of the Shaka. Oh my goodness, the return of the Shaka. Anyway, guys, shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, and different time. You've been listening to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.